Welcome back to Briggs on Books, our international talk show where we interview authors from all over the world. Not just authors, but editors, publishers, all things to do with the authoring world, I guess you would call it. And boy, we're getting a lot of authors from other countries. We had one from Spain yesterday, one from Canada yesterday, and I think this next guest coming up is from another exotic place. Let's see if I can find him. There he is, from Hollywood, California. BenCable, welcome, Ben.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Now, first of all, you got a couple books out, and I'm going to ask you about them. But I want to start with this book, Sophie. Tell us about Sophie.
Oh, Sophie is great. She is a 17-year-old who spent most of her time in California, but she was born and raised in Stonington, Connecticut. That's right near Mystic, a high tourist area. And she moves back, and she discovers all these mysteries, and she loves mysteries. And her father is a detective, and he got a job out there, back where she was born. And so she, with her friends, solved all these wonderful mysteries throughout the Mystic, including landmarks like the Mystic Bridge, the Mystic Aquarium, Stonington High School. And those are real locations where this fictitious character discovers all these wonderful things in the dark corners.
What town is that in?
Stonington, Connecticut.
Oh, Stonington.
And Mystic, Connecticut.
So if somebody's from that area, they're going to recognize some of the places in the book.
Oh, absolutely. And one place that they may not have discovered, and that's Devil's Cove. Devil's Cove plays a big part in Sophie's life when she's in Mystic and Stonington.
Now, by the way, you sent a couple graphics. I'm going to put this one up that says Gumshoe Detective Agency. Tell us, what is that?
Well, when she moves back and she meets all these new friends from Stonington High School that have similar interests in solving mysteries, together with her new friends, they wanted to name their group. So one of them came up with
Gumshoe?
I went blank on the detective agency.
Gumshoe Detective Agency.
Gumshoe Detective Agency or Gumshoe DA. So there's a whole line of products that are even coming out for Gumshoe DA. And to read more about that or to learn more, you have to go to Sophie.
Now we actually have the website on the screen as part of the logo. Somethingmystery.com. I can't read it. It's too far away for me.
It's SophieMystery.com.
SophieMystery.com.
Or they can go to BenCable.com.
Yeah, we have BenCable.com on the screen. We have the Instagram, realBenCable, and also Facebook, Ben.Cable. So you'll find Ben. I found you real easy. I searched you right before the show. You popped up everywhere, Ben. Now, who is this book? And by the way, I'm going to put this graphic up because it looks like a DVD rolling out of, or a CD rolling out of a case. So I guess that means you could get it on audiobook too. Is that right?
Yes, it's available on audiobooks, and you can get that also on Amazon. And I have a special offers for your watchers.
We like special offers.
So the first 10 people that send me an instant message on my Instagram, then I will give them a free audio copy.
Oh, nice.
From Audible Books. Yeah. And so I'll give them the code. All they have to do is send me an IM on the Instagram that's down there.
Yeah. I tell you, the older I get, it's harder and harder to see the words in books, and I read a lot. And I do now I do a lot on audio, and what a difference has changed my life. And I could get a lot more reading, and I could do it while I'm driving, when I'm at the gym. I get a lot more books read because of audio, so I'm glad you did that.
Audio is awesome, and I have great narrators. And the narrator for this book, she brings in the Irish brogue of Sophie's father. She brings in the voices of the friends and a wonderful voice for Sophie. She is just awesome, a great actress, and voice actress as well.
Now, by the way, who's this written for? Is there a certain age group?
This is a young adult,
Yeah.
so I would recommend it for 16 and above.
Okay.
It does deal with some gore, and also Sophie's friends have a blend of society that you would find in a typical high school. So her friends make up the majority of what we normally see.
Nice. It's real.
So I
Sounds
would recommend
real.
it under 16 for parental guidance, only because the friends are diverse. Which I have no problem with, and most parents don't. But we saw what's going on in Texas and Florida, etc.
Yeah.
So we want to be careful of that. And if this is banned in Florida, then I'll wear it with a badge.
It might be, Ben. It might be. Now, I got to tell you, I read young adult. So it's not just for 16 to 20 or whatever. I like them. And I got started when my kids were in high school. They had their summer reading list, and they would never read anything. So I read all of their books. So I bought them. So I was like, I'm going to read these. So, but you think adults will find it fun too?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, a couple of the reviewers on my first reviews came from adults,
Nice.
and they enjoyed it immensely. So that was a positive feedback for me.
Now, Ben, I'm going to put a graphic up here. The one with the DVD, because I put the mouse right on the top middle of your forehead, so I'm just going to move the mouse there. That looks much better, Ben. Now, I want to ask you about this. Is not. Oh, let me say this first. I know you're an actor, and you're always looking for acting projects, but this Sophie really sounds like a TV show, or a movie. I should say a movie. What do you think?
Oh, that would be awesome. In fact, when I was conjuring her up in my mind and expressing myself in this book, I was thinking of this as an ongoing series. In fact, I am working on a second Sophie book as we speak.
Oh, nice, nice. And by the way, when you're writing, are you thinking in pictures like that?
Yes, I do.
Movie scenes or TV
Sophie's
scenes?
very personal to me, and it's reflected even on the cover. And she's a beautiful Portuguese girl. I don't know if they can see. That's her silhouette. Her mother was Portuguese. Her father was Irish. So she's a beautiful blend of the two.
Yeah.
And I had this vision of her, and this was able to be reflected on the cover. Also, if you notice in the shadows of Sophie, you'll see a view of the seaport in Mystic. You'll see boats,
in that cover?
Mystery and alluring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you kind of a personal question, Ben. Do you have a cat?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a cat?
I do. Do you hear it meowing?
we just saw him. We just saw him.
It's my neighbor. It's my neighbor's cat.
Yeah, we just saw him.
He thinks he lives here.
Yeah, nice.
So right before we came on air, she was whining at the door really loud, so I had to let her in.
Let her in. Okay. Now,
my dog I put in the other room and is being brilliant. But the neighbor's cat, yeah, not so much.
Now, I was looking through your past a little bit and found this other book I'm putting on the screen right now. Mrs. Fuzzy, you had another book.
Mrs. Fuzzy is fun. Yeah, she is a blast. She's an older woman who talks to animals. She has this special relationship with animals. And Mrs. Fuzzy came out as my first book a couple months ago. And it's available also on Amazon and in Barnes & Noble, etc. And here's a little dish for your folks. The Adventures of Mrs. Fuzzy is going to be out before Christmas.
Oh, that's nice. Now, is this also young adult?
This is even younger than that. This is for grandparents to share with their grandchildren, or parents to share with their kids, or have their kids read. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, she lives close to the woods, and so she has this wonderful plethora of animals that visit her, and that she welcomes, and she introduces them to the children.
Nice.
The first book is just an introduction to Mrs. Fuzzy. The next book explores her character further, and also the children, and a lot of adventure. So I'm looking forward to the second one coming out and sharing that with you.
Mrs. Fuzzy. Now, I say this on our show a lot, I give books as gifts. Whenever I visit someone's house, I would take a house gift, and I take a book, and it just popped in my mind this second that Grandma should give Mrs. Fuzzy to the grandkid and say part of the gift is, I'm going to read it to you. That would be a lot of fun. The kid opens a present for a birthday.
I had a grandniece who was just born, so I went out to Idaho and was able to give the parents and the book to her because she was actually my inspiration when she was being her mom was carrying to get this out immediately because I wanted something for young adults and for children, and so this is really her inspiration to kick me in the butt.
Now, for our viewers, we're gonna put this video up on Facebook and YouTube and stuff, so you'll be able to find it and refer back to it. We're gonna put the link right on it. You can click and order these books. And as I always say, never order one book. Always just order 5. It's just as easy. They're not that expensive. And trust me, you're gonna have events where you have to give gifts, and these are the perfect gifts. My kids were always going to these birthday parties, and they always said, Dad, give me $20. I said, for what? Well, that's what we give as gifts. I said, no, you're taking a book. So I keep the stack of books around, and whenever my kids or I have to give a gift, it's ready to go. So go to Amazon or wherever. You don't have to order on Amazon. Order 5 of these, you guys. Now, Ben, if we go to benCable.com, what are we going to find there?
A little bit about me. So yeah, it's about me.
Nice.
So it's a little bit about my acting career and what my current projects are, and also a link to the books, and link to their own pages, such as SophieMystery.com or MrsFuzzy.com, and so it gives a little bit more background, a little bit more insight on my life and what's in my head.
Yeah, I read, obviously, I read an awful lot, and I love to know more about the authors, and especially if they've got another book that I can move to and stuff like that. So I don't know why, but my cell phone is playing applause for some reason. I would have fired my staff if their phone went off in the middle of the thing. So. Well, Ben, we are really out of time. Any last thoughts, any other things we skipped that you want our viewers to know?
Well, no, I really appreciate you having me on your show. This has been awesome. And these books are really for the readers.
Nice.
They're my inspiration. And for example, Sophie, all the people in Mystic, Connecticut, where I grew up, and Mystic Library, where I spent my summers. And that's where I grew up. So these are passion projects for me. So I love sharing it, and I love feedback.
Now, you've got at least 2 more in the pipeline. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you have more. How do you write them? Are they mostly written in your head, and you finally sit down and write them out?
Correct. And my first project, Mrs. Fuzzy, was COVID. That was a COVID project because I didn't have any acting gigs. And then same thing with Sophie. Sophie was also a COVID project. The others are when I have time, and sometimes late at night I'll scribble on napkins, anything I have, and then put it down on paper.
Ben, we were a regional Central Valley, California talk show until COVID came along, and they said you can't have your guests on your show anymore. So we had to figure out this whole Zoom thing, just how we're talking now. And COVID made us an international talk show. So I guess some good came out of it, your books and our talk show.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for your time. And I'm going to get these books. I'm going to read these books, and then we'll have you back on the show.
Oh, I would love that. Thank you again so much, and for your people that are watching now.
My pleasure. And to our viewers, don't touch that mouse. We'll be right back with another author. Don't go anywhere.